Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable.
For the first time, the LPGA has come to Busan in South Korea, and what we've witnessed so far is 3 spectacular days of golf, and we're in for an exciting and probably a dramatic conclusion to Sunday. A big welcome to you, everybody, from Peter Donegan to our final round coverage of the BMW Ladies Championship of 2019 from the LPGA International layout at Busan in South Korea. We're set up for a sensational Sunday of action. Kate Burton and Karen Stupples join me in the commentary box. Kate, welcome to you. What we've got is a great blend of the bigger names from the LPGA and some of the younger players from Korea.
Yes, a couple of players have gone from being a curiosity to a legitimate contender. And when you think, Pete, 18 players are within 5 of the lead. Where is the winner going to come from? So much talent, and no wonder they're all filing in to see them.
And they have been coming in from the early hours. Karen Stupples, the British Open champion, welcome to you. Being a British Open champion, you know that the pressure that Sunday brings to bear can be very different to the first 3 days.
Well, and particularly winning in your home country too. I mean, I had the good fortune of winning the British Open. That's where I'm from, and it was fantastic to do it so close to my home. But yes, it does come with added pressure because it's the one that you grow up wanting to win, and you want to win in front of your home fans, to give all of those people that have supported you all your playing career it's almost like a reward for them more than it is for you.
This is a look at the daunting and spectacular layout here at LPGA International, and one of the things that we have noticed in our time here this week is the difference in the levels, the climbs and the descents on many of the holes here. It is uphill and down dale.
It is, and it's a long golf course for many of the players, and the greens, first time these players really getting to grips on these new greens, and there are some subtle breaks, and you can also get some quite firm bounces. And so where some of the hole locations are today, it's going to be fascinating, certainly on the back nine, to see how well equipped they are.
Just a little cooler than yesterday, 17 degrees Celsius, around the mid-60s Fahrenheit after a beautiful day. Sun was shining yesterday. We saw a lot of birdies, and that's what they're playing for, as well as the $300,000 that goes to the winner of the $2 million purse, the magnificent trophy. Someone is going to get their hands on that and put their name on that and become the first champion, and that's an honour that you can never have taken away from you. We're in the spectacular city of Busan, the second biggest city in South Korea. Everybody has been made to feel very welcome, including these best players in the world.
And how about this group? Jong Eun-lee, 6th the world. Number 4 bounced back into contention with a 68, playing alongside Jing Yang. And MJ Hurd, 2 wins in 2019.
Got a former world number 1, Lee Ko, playing with the current world number 1 in Jin Yang Klo, and the future of potential Korean golf there in Hee Jong Lim. Very talented player.
Oh, and how about this group? In Ji Chun, delighting her numerous fans with a 67, playing alongside So Young Lee, 4 wins in her young career. And Se Young Kim, known as the comeback queen in Korea.
Well, you have the informed player there in Danielle Kang, winning last week, and Amy Yang, 4 times winner on the LPGA Tour, but also has won in Korea, looking for a double to make it 2.
And this is the final group. So-mi Lee, a 67 to have the joint lead on 13 under par with Sung Young Lee, ranked 114th in the world.
Danielle's had an aggressive mindset all the way through last week in Shanghai and this week. Centre of the green, though, would be perfectly acceptable here.
I really like this club for her 7-iron. I think this is absolutely spot on.
That's fine.
Yeah. You'd almost guarantee a par from there at worst.
It all hinges on Hannah Jang's approach to 15. If she can get close, halve the gap to just one shot, then we are game on. And here is the shot. Needs to get up and down, put the pressure on. It's not over yet.
No, and just the other side of the lake is Danielle Kang walking up the next hole. So it's very close, very tight in there.
This really is a performance of the highest quality by Hannah as well, because of the outstanding nature of what Danielle Kang is coming up with. She would have broken most players. She hasn't broken Hannah yet. Just a par then for 6. That was the look she had on her face a couple of days ago, and it's not going to turn out to be the week that she was hoping for.
Yu Liu would love to finish with a flourish on the 18th. She's from Beijing, now lives in Florida. And she's going about it just the right way. Very makeable birdie putt. They're yet to win on the LPGA.
But she keeps putting herself in good positions. I think if you keep putting yourself into a spot, you learn from that, and eventually you have to break through.
Tied third last week after a 76 in the opening round, did Yu Liu. From the shadow of that tree at 17, here's the world number 1.
So it'll be an interesting matchup this 17th hole. We'll see. Just play it.
By the look of it, the only way she can play it is backwards. So the only way she can get a club on it.
뒤로 가주세요. 뒤에 건데 더 뒤로 가주세요. 이쪽으로 더 오세요. 그럼 사람 많으시면 빨리. 아니, 쭉 가주세요. 그냥 뒤로. 조금만 더 가세요. 뒤로 가주세요. 이쪽에 있는 분들 앞으로 가주세요. 저 뒤에 가주세요. 뒤에 가주세요. 가주세요. 뒤로 가주셔야 돼요. 뒤로 가주셔야 돼요. 선수 못 쳐요. 조금만 더 가주세요.
And this isn't what Hannah Jang needs. It's a distraction. She's, got her momentum going. She wants to get on with it, have a crack at that birdie putt, get to within 1.
The good news with Hannah is that she has enough experience to take all this into account. She's even working out how to play the shot for her.
Karen, such being the case, if she's going to go backwards here, is she just better off taking an unplayable?
Well, the difficulty is you take an unplayable, and then you have the car path, which is right there. So then you drop, and then depending on where it bounces to, it could stay out of the, hazard, out of the penalty area. And you have those bushes there, you could still have a limited backswing from the bush.
Not sure she's completely convinced what she's going to do yet, so we'll pop back to that in a moment. This is where the main game is.
A chance to get to 20 under par for the championship.
So a fairly easy par there, but as she moves forward to the 17th, we've seen her play the 17th quite strategically, iron off the tee, iron into the green. And with that back right flag, it's going to be difficult for her to get a long iron close. And I think that might give Hannah Jang an advantage if she takes driver with a shorter club in. I don't think we'll see Danielle change her strategy.
She just tried to hit Ollie on the nose there with a golf ball.
Well, just making sure he's awake.
Birdie perhaps coming for Jin Young. Would like to think so. And despite the fact we'd bemoaned her week and said nothing's worked for her, if this goes in, she would have been within 8 shots of the lead. Just outside the top 10 at the moment. She would have climbed into the top 10 in a week where really nothing seems to have happened. It did early on, of course, 67, 69 the first couple of rounds, but then made nothing yesterday.
A birdie at 15th for Yang. This is a chance at 16, up the slight rise. She's putting together a very good round, Amy Yang. Just looking, she's 4 under par today. We've seen her drop a couple of shots, so what might have been a costly 3-putt at the 14th.
Well, there's every chance she's going to have 4 rounds in the 60s and still not be that close to winning. Huge putt coming to close the gap to 1. She's going to take it all the way down to the wire. That's just the sort of competitor that she is. What a fighting performance this has been from Hannah Jang.
Yeah, and that putt, she didn't do her customary fist pump. She knows exactly what is at stake. She is so focused on catching up with this player, Danielle Kang.
31,216 people in here this afternoon. Do they love their golf in this part of the world or what? Hopefully 6 can finish a difficult day in good fashion. Yeah. Started out so promisingly. We were walking down, Karen. We were walking down that path beside 18 and we saw the scoreboard that said Jong and Lee 6, 2 under. We said,
watch out.
Here comes the charge, and it just stalled after that and never eventuated. Might have just cleared that divot, I think.
Maybe sitting right at the very front of it.
The 17th, we're going to take a flight. It's only a short one because it's just over the 300-yard mark.
It is. What makes it difficult, though, is that tree right there in the middle. And players can choose if they want to lay back a little bit off that tee, have a longer shot into the green, or if they try and squeeze it through that tiny little gap left of the tree. It all depends on how confident they feel with the drive. If you push it a bit, you're down the slope in trouble. If you pull it a bit, you could be in our TV compound.
Stick with the game plan. Do what's got you there in the first place. She's done this every day. This is where you think, perhaps, Karen, the door might be a little bit open for Hannah because Danielle, naturally with the iron, finds herself a long way back.
And that will be a sort of a mid to longer iron for her coming into this flag. And it's cut all the way on the far right-hand side over those bunkers, and she's done very well managing the second shot here. I mean, there's nothing to assume that she won't, but there is an advantage to be played if you're just going in with a wedge.
Meantime, up ahead, Ingy at the green.
You can see how close it is to those front bunkers, and that's what Danielle's gonna face.
In all likelihood, a par for Ingy. That'll keep her at 12 under. Also at 12 under, but with her difficulties. Sung-Yun Lee almost makes an unlikely par, but that'll be shaky territory as well. About 4.5 feet for a bogey. Tough day at the office for the young lady. But Karen, the first thing I asked you today was about the pressure of Sunday, and it's been brought to bear.
Well, it'll be a good learning experience for her. You know, especially having watched Hannah Jang and how she's responded to the competition in hand.
Ingy needs a drink.
Nice cup of tea.
Perhaps. Is there any other sort? You could almost feel it happening. A double bogey. The last birdie that she made will seem like a long time ago, and that's because it was at the 4th hole. A real test on the back nine for the young lady. Polite applause rather than the usual acclamation that follows everything that Jong and Lee 6 does around this place. She became a hero in this part of the world when she won the US Open Championship earlier this year.
It's perfect.
Do you think that's playing too safe or not?
No, I don't think it's playing safe at all.
Can I be left of it then?
Yeah, you can be left of it, yeah. Like, this is perfect, yeah. Trust it, stay aggressive.
53 is a pin, right?
Correct, yeah, and that's probably been playing about for 60.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Finishing out the tree left of it's fine, right?
Perfect, yeah. Trust it, yeah.
She's looked in complete command for most of the day. She's 8 under par for the day. This is the shot where things could change, though. That's the safe play. You wouldn't guarantee 2 putts from there, though. Perhaps you should with her, the way she's been going.
I think I want to go ahead and give her the 2 putts from there. I think the fact that she had to try and manufacture a little fade 6-iron because of the tee shot, it's good that she's sticking with her plan. I think that's exactly what she should do.
And the discussion that she had with Ollie was to really attack that part of the green. As you said, the bunker made life difficult to attack the hole. So the gap between them remains at 1, and the 16th plays at 1.56 today.
I would expect to see Hannah play about a 7-iron 2. She might even try and barbecue an 8, but I think that a little 7 would be a good play. The flag today is cut more towards the left side, and it's one of those greens you can see all those slopes around the hole. It makes the landing area really quite small, quite tough to get this close to. You've got to be very precise with your landing area to get it anywhere near the hole.
We've seen a few at the back.
There you go, a little controlled 7-iron. Maybe a bit left.
Almost exactly where Ingy was.
Angie made that chip look quite easy, but she wasn't under any pressure of trying to whip.
We've got that even into a little breeze, eh? Yeah, okay.
It is just at the front of that divot for Amy Yang. Well, that's what we were talking about before. Don't let it worry you that that divot is there. Prove a point.
Yeah, just show everybody how good you are from it. Biggest thing is you've got to hope the divot's going in the same direction you're playing in.
Good swing.
Very good.
You're pretty safe in saying good swing when it's Amy Yang, aren't you?
Yes. And you can see she was right at the front of that divot. She made contact with the ball first before she made her own divot.
Hopefully a par at the last for Jang and Lee's 6. It's been a very long weekend. Not too many spare seats in the grandstand today underneath the blue skies up beside the beautiful BMW. All vantage points are taken, and well they might, because this has got the prospect of going right down to this green to see who's going to be acclaimed as the first champion.
I think from that high vantage point you might even be able to have a glimpse of the 17th green as well.
Bogey 5 then for Jang and Lee's 6. She finishes with an even par round of 72. 2 under par after 3 holes today, but then it fizzled out unfortunately. She finishes at -8. Currently, that puts her in a tie for 16th place. So we're down to 2. We have been realistically for some time. And there's only a shot between the 2 at the top. Danielle Kang in the centre of the green at 17. Probably 2 putts, but not guaranteed. Jang stretching and straining and trying to catch her great rival. Amy Yang looks to have 3rd place to herself. It's between Danielle and Hannah, and we're in the finishing straight in the final round of the BMW Ladies Championship. Second shot at the final hole for Jin Young Ko.
Backstop. Come back. Here it comes a little bit.
It's moving. Getting better.
Crowd response is good.
And we'll be back in a moment to find out exactly where it got to. But this is huge. Cause for thought, and there was just a bit of movement as the ball went past the hole too.
She just didn't get enough air underneath it. It came out a bit low, and that's just a sign of just a little bit of nerves in the hands. You tend to grip hold of the club a bit tighter, and it comes out a bit lower, more shooty.
All right then, Karen was prepared to just about guarantee the 2 putts from here. If it's 1, she might be unreachable. Good enough, you would think. So the biggest shot of the whole tournament really is not her next one, it's Hannah's next one, to see whether she can stay in the fight or not.
I mean, this is textbook stuff, what we've seen from Danielle on this hole. She stuck to her game plan because she's not thinking about what anybody else is doing on the golf course, because she knows she has no influence over what they do. Only can control her own game.
I say this in the nicest possible way. She is a selfish player because she's only thinking about what she can control. And that's a good quality to have sometimes.
It really is. Could you imagine if Ariya Jutanugarn had a bit of that in her, with her, you know, natural talents?
Probably wasn't thinking that might be the result when she walked up to the ball and it was sitting at the front of the divot, but she comes up with an unlikely birdie, and Amy Yang moves to 16 under. So the win's out of the question, but it's still going to be a very good week, another consistent week.
Well, and watch out for her coming up next week.
Chinese Taipei, the Swinging Skirts Championship. Lydia's hiding in the shadows at 18.
The Lydia we know. Magnificent touch, that great imagination.
And it'll be a par at the last, unfortunately for a closing round of 73, but a nice way to finish. The former world number one, more than 100 weeks at the top of the women's game. Thursday good, Saturday good, Sunday not so good. Johnny Scott on the bag, faithful companion for Liz. To go to the last then with at least a one-shot lead as it stands at the moment. $19 under, 1 to play. Right now she leads by 1. In the next minute or so, that could all change. In fact, in this second, this instant right here, this is the biggest putt of the day for Hannah Jang right now. She is nothing if not a fighter.
Hannah's really come up big these last few holes. When you think about the par save on 14, birdie on 15.
Yep.
And then the par save there.
The gallery willing this one in. Hopefully for a roar to erupt around the 18th. And Jin Young is going to be thinking, yep, that would be about right. That just sums up my weekend. She had 33 putts yesterday, 32 putts the day before. And from what we've seen today, it might be a slightly less number than that, but it'll still be too many for her. Ingie forced to wait.
Well, and you're going to get weeks like that with golf.
Of course.
You know, there are sometimes the hole's just going to look like a bucket and you'll make everything, and there are other times it just seems to be a struggle and you'll burn all the edges. And that seems to be what we've seen from Jin Young this week. She's been close, but not quite close enough.
A par at the last hole for the world number one. .71s on the weekend, a pair of 71s, not enough to get it done. And at the moment she stands 9 back. Consoling arm from Dave Brooker, who's been there and seen just about everything the game of golf has to offer. Precious souvenir for one lucky member of the gallery, and that clears the way for Ingie And if Jin Young is popular, and she certainly is up around the 18th, just listen to the roar that goes up if this gets close, and it'll be a good shot if it does, because she needs plenty of club to get it there.
It's just a really good looking swing. Love how that club comes down and through and releases and extends up. Just the lines are tremendous.
Well, it's hard to say for someone so young, but she looks like the old Ingie this week. Bit of the confidence has returned after what's been a testing year. Se Young is 2 under for the day, tied 6th at the moment. She's just looked a little hot a couple of times today. Paul's been doing his best to keep her on an even keel, to keep her level. Maybe a dip when she gets back to the hotel might cool her off a little bit.
I think it's actually quite nice looking at that trophy right there, as it's now hidden by the leaderboard, and you can see Danielle Kang with that one-shot lead. Hannah Jang with that interesting 17th coming up. Looking in perfect place, which is where Hannah wants this to go. Here's a little right, I think. Oh, that could be a monumentally good break.
You could not do that if you stood there and tried it 1,000 times.
No.
In the meantime, this dominant performance, which could result in a back-to-back victory for Danielle Kang after what happened in Shanghai last week. 72nd hole, driver in hand.
First job done, find the fairway. That'll leave her a long way in though, I believe.
It'll be probably 155 front maybe, so close to about 170 to the hole from there. How good has she been? Without blemish, but as good as she has been, she still hasn't been able to shake off Hannah Jang. Such is the quality of the performance from the 27-year-old from Korea. Well, there's a good illustration of the difficulties that Se Young Kim has with her third.
Oh, so good.
Well, you had to flirt with leaving it on the bank to get it that close.
So good.
They're keeping an eye on what's going on the green, and they're also keeping an eye on what's going on down on the fairway too, because they've got the leaderboard there. They can see the situation. They can see that there's one between Danielle and Hannah. Great finishing vista around the 18th here at LPGA International. Just like the sponsor, it has a prestige feel to it. So Young Lee at the last. She is -1 for the day.
And that was a much forward straight chip than Se Young's, and she couldn't get it inside Se Young's chip. That just shows you how good Se Young's chip was. Just to have that kind of visualization to see exactly where you needed to land it, and then to go ahead and hit the spot.
So Young Lee's last birdie of the day came at the 10th. She went out in 36, couple of birdies, couple of bogeys on the front side. But she's up in a top 10 spot right now. Tied 10th if she can make that with Jin Young Ko and Minji Park.
They play for good money on the LPGA Tour, but this would be one of the biggest purses that they would be exposed to.
They played for around $1.2 million a couple of weeks ago at the Hunter Finance Group Championship at Sky 72. This is $2 million.
Yep.
And the 1.2 is the biggest purse of standalone money that they play for each year. So as you say, this is a quantum step up.
Yep. And I believe that the money that the players that play on the LPGA make in this event will count towards their money list title as well.
It was on home soil in Korea that Inji first came into our gaze, and we thought we had a fine young player emerging through the ranks, and she's since gone on to become a major champion. She has this incredible following, especially in this country when she plays at home.
She's developing a nice following too in America. The fact that when she won the US Women's Open at Lancaster Country Club in Pennsylvania, she decided to give back to the community. So she has a scholarship fund in her name to give to local school children that are in need of some financial assistance, and it's a very admirable thing that she would choose to do to help out the community, which she feels gave her US Open victory.
So hitting the tree absolutely flush, Hannah Jang has bounced back to here. So she's got a shot at it.
As I said, a monumentally good break. Could have gone anywhere. Oh, little club 12. There you have it.
Wow.
There you have it.
Danielle Kang would have heard that roar standing in the 18th fairway. Maybe she's just looking up to the heavens and saying thank you for that break.
When I saw it ricochet out, I was like, that is crazy good. She could have been completely blocked out by the tree. She could have been all the way down at the bottom of that bank. Anything could have happened. And she had a clear shot.
It seems like a lot of the time that the golfing gods don't take kindly to you, and this young lady is probably thinking that at the moment, but they looked after Hannah Jang there. And so potentially it's going to go all the way down to the last hole. Sung Yeon now finds herself all the way down in a tie for 12th.
And I really hope she doesn't beat herself up too badly about this back nine. She's played amazingly this week. I think the world knows who she is now and what kind of a player that she is. She's aggressive. She plays with power.
And it's not exactly the same line as Hannah Jang's putt, but it'll give us some indicator of speed from a similar length. Up ahead. Bit of body language from So Young Lee, unable to help her to save her par at the last. So she drops back into that tie for 12th with a closing 72. Put herself into the picture with good rounds on both Friday and Saturday. Another one of this fine young brigade of players coming up through the ranks. She's just 22 years of age. This would be some up and down.
Wouldn't it just?
So Young will be walking away feeling as though it's been one of those days. That's a wry smile on her face as she goes to caddy Paul Fusco. The big charge that we were hoping for and never quite eventuated. A closing par for one of the darlings of South Korean golf. So popular everywhere she goes, but in particular this part of the world. Bookend 70s for Inji Chun. And right now she sits in a tie for 4th. It's been a long wait. It's also been a masterclass. That's going to be very quick because there's a ridge just in front of where she'll be putting from.
I mean, she struck this so well, but it's such a long iron. If you think about some of the highlights we've seen from her, if we think back to the 6th hole, how she's made putts from a top tier down to a lower tier. She's done it before. She can hang her hat on the fact that she's made those kind of putts before.
Amy's got 152 to the front and the hole is 12 on.
Plays uphill about 4 yards from there.
Outside chance of a birdie. Outside chance for Danielle Kang of a birdie. So if she does somehow manage to hold that putt, she gets it to -20, which means that Hannah is going to need to hold her putt at 17, and she can do that. It's in the range where she can get it done. If Danielle, in all likelihood, makes it par, Hannah could find herself level pegging when she arrives at the 72nd tee. What a contest this has been between these two.
It looked for a while that Danielle Kang was really going to walk away with this. And Danielle hasn't backed down. I mean, 8 under par, that's an absolutely stunning round of golf. Lowest round of golf, if she 2 putts, shoots 8 under par. Lowest final round ever that she would have played. And Hannah has just poured it on this back 9.
So, the outcome may well hinge on this putt. To join Danielle Kang at 19 under par.
Nice one.
We've been singing the praises of the American and how well she's played. This young woman has been fantastic today.
The competitive nature, the way she's played these few holes has been outstanding.
She heard that roar. Make no mistake about it. She heard it and she probably knows what it means. Her turn will come, but first of all, it's the turn of Suo of Australia, whose Sunday didn't turn out the way she was hoping for when she arrived at the golf course this morning.
And this will help Danielle. It's going to roll really close to Danielle's line, and Danielle will be able to see the speed with which this rolls down the hill towards the hole as much as anything.
So for 2/3 of the journey, it'll be reasonably gently downhill, and then it'll take the step and accelerate.
You see Danielle was in there quite quickly too to look at that. Very wise too for doing so.
That will be definitely helpful. '72nd hole.
About where Amy Yang hit from.
Even just a little closer.
뒤에 잠시만 멈춰주세요.
As well as she's played, as dominant as she's been today and this week, she may still have to go to an extra hole to get it done, or she might even be denied. It seems almost unthinkable the way she's played. Such has been the quality of the challenge from Hannah Jang. This has been golf at the highest level in the women's game from these two. If she holds it, she leads by 1. It's probably a result that she'll take. Just saw Suo's ball duck away to the left there and compensated accordingly. So seemingly now we've arrived at the point where we can say something with certainty, and that is that if Hannah Jang can make a birdie at the last, she wins. It's taken us a long time to get to the point of certainty.
It's been a wild ride this back nine. The way the players have really stepped up. And if you are in any doubt as to why you should watch women's golf, this is a really great example of it. 2 players stepping up under intense pressure to get the job done, playing quality shot after quality shot, getting up and down when they need to, making putts when they have to. Performing on a golf course that, quite frankly, isn't all that easy.
And to exemplify what Karen has just said, Amy Yang is going to have 4 rounds in the 60s and is still not in the fight to hold up the trophy. The quality of her golf has been exceptional. The other 2 have been out of this world, especially today. She had 3rd place sewn up, but she stayed in the game. 69, 69, 67, 67 for Amy Yang. And she's got to be thinking, I've had a pretty good week, and I'm still going to fall probably 3, maybe even 4 short. Steep learning curve for the young lady from Melbourne. A tough Sunday for Suo. Still a good finish though at 9 under. Up in a tie for 13th after a closing 74. They're making their way down Hannah Jang like the Pied Piper. For a par at the last, a 19 under par tally. And a 64 in the final round. The look on her face tells you that she knows that it's not over yet. 64, blemish-free final round, and there's a chance it still might not be enough. How incredible is that? I want to draw on your experience in a moment, Karen Stuffles, because you've been in this situation, so you know the sort of thoughts that are going through Hannah Jang's head at the moment. What is she trying to think about? What is she trying to focus on more than anything at this moment?
Well, right now, she knows that she's hit the ball well, she's putting well, and she's trying to make a good strike on this ball. She knows where she wants to land it, and she knows that she just has to keep her rhythm and execute the shot. She's going to stick with the process. She's not going to do anything different. Everything's going to go in the same rhythm that she's done all day long.
Just before that shot, Sung-yeon. Hannah Jang would give good money for that.
Well, and that will help Hannah Jang too, because she will see that she was able to land the ball at the front edge and stop before going to that back tier. This will help Hannah.
She's walked this golf course with a stress fracture in her foot, but it's been about the only imperfection she's carried around today. That putt for the win.
와, 걸렸어 옆결이라 채가 안 나가. 원시켰으면 됐지 뭐. 아이.
She might have been channeling the thoughts that she had with her approach into Sky 72 3 weeks ago, where she hit it to 2.5 inches. It was always going to be a tough task to do that, but she's got a chance. In fact, she's got 2 chances.
It would have been a difficult up and down. You missed the green to left. Seon Kim's chip was just magnificent. So she erred on the side of a little bit of caution by leaving it out to the right. The distance was good on the shot, and she still has a chance. So she didn't want to blow it.
Yeah, the first chance she has is to hold the putt and win. The second chance she has is to make 2 putts from where she is and force a playoff. I think there'll be a lot of you sitting watching this around the world who will be hoping that we get a playoff just so that this keeps going. This has been magnificent stuff on a Sunday. Danielle Kang, for the second week in a row, seemingly in that zone where everybody wants to be, on the way to an 8 under par round of 64. And still, the likelihood is it might require more than 72 holes to get this decided.
Lowest round of the tournament, 64.
And if Hannah equals that lowest round of the tournament, she wins, because she's got a putt for a 64. "15 times she's won around the world. 4 times she's won on the big tour. And everybody missed her when she departed the big tour and came back here, but there were reasons for it, and most of the reasons were to do with family. But she's made a very good living. She's been happy. And now she plays in front of her homeland as Danielle waits with Mum to see what goes on. Hannah's destiny is in her own hands. Danielle can't do anything about it.
No, and the other lady that was with Danielle's mother was Birdie Kim. Former player, won the US Women's Open in 2005 at Cherry Hills.
Probably about 5 feet for So-Mi Lee to make her par, and an important putt that will be, because if she makes it, she ties 4th with Inji Chun at 12 under. So of course we're consumed with the battle at the top, but also these young players have their own battle to wage. And they'll draw a lot from the experience today. The 20-year-old and the 21-year-old playing in the last group at a big championship, that will stand them in good stead the next time it happens. What do your hands feel like in a moment like this?
For me, it wasn't so much in my hands. You could feel your stomach churning, like you could sense it, sense the moment. But you can breathe through that. I always had my hands always felt steady. Solheim Cup being the exception to that rule, that was pretty shaky. But you just have to trust yourself, see your line, and send it.
For the win. Was never going to get there. And now another deep breath is required. But she's holed so many putts of that length for par on the back 9 to stay in the battle when she had to. Danielle seemingly unaware of what's going on, but she'd be hearing the roar and hearing the groan. So she knows that Hannah hasn't holed it.
Yeah. Now this is a nerve-wracking putt for Hannah, as she's having to wait whilst the other players finish off.
And if it does go to a playoff, as seems likely, whoever emerges without the trophy is going to think, how well do you have to play to claim this thing? They've both been phenomenal.
The worry was, looking at Hannah's putt, was that it looked to me like she was trying to get it close, not trying to make it. And I like what she's doing now. She's staying away from the other players on the green. She's keeping her mind occupied.
A rough Sunday for the 21-year-old, but all in all, a very good week. That's a par at the last. Sun Yeon Lee finishes at 10 under, closing round of 75. after 3 brilliant days, but it's all part of the learning curve.
As I said earlier, I do hope that she doesn't get too down on herself or feel too bad. Golf happens. You know, it's, as you said, a good learning experience for her this week.
And the same for Somi Lee as well. She's got this putt for a share of 4th. But it'll be an over par round to close. So both of the youngsters came here with their expectations so high, but the pressure of being in front of the national gaze is a heavy one to shoulder for 5 hours and then some. Well done to Somi Lee. It's a 73 in the closing round, but still it's a share of 4th place. So fittingly, this incredible battle that we've seen in the latter stages of Sunday, because of the fighting qualities of this young woman, is going to go down to the last putt. If this goes in, we keep going. For a round of 65 and to force the playoff. She knows now. Even with the earphones in, she knows. 4 brilliant rounds from Hannah Jang. And what about those putts you were talking about, Karen? Those par saves that she made to see her arrive at this place.
What a battle. What a battle. These two have put on around this back nine. Just phenomenal golf.
And Danielle's got to be thinking, how well do you have to play? 8 under par round of 64. Not a blemish. Didn't even look like being a blemish for most of the day.
No, this is going to be a very interesting playoff. Think about Danielle's experience in Solheim Cups and how good she is in those head-to-head battles. 2-time winner of the US Amateur Championship. She knows how to get the job done.
Will she be able to get it done in Busan? We'll find out shortly. An incredible Sunday. It took spectacular golf for both Danielle Kang and Hannah Jang to get to 19 under, and that's where they are. The playoff will resolve it. Amy Yang finishes in 3rd. Inji Chun and Somi Lee in a tie for 4th at 12 under. Danielle and Hannah to continue their Sunday battle at the BMW Ladies Championship. The playoff is next.
Do we just go? She's asking. Yes.
Do you want to go first in this circumstance?
You do, absolutely. You want to set the tone, put your drive in position. I think that what will happen though is that Hannah Jang will hit a slightly longer drive than Danielle, and so Danielle will get a chance to set the tone with the second shot.
Her driving has been one of her strengths this week. She's driven at long distances. She hit all but one fairway all the way back on Thursday.
Almost identical to where she was in regulation play.
Danielle Kang will be happy for her to be almost identical with her drive and also with her second shot, because the second shot was such a fine line, as you said. She takes a little bit off the second shot, She might finish up with a much better result, but this has to happen first. Driver in hand. Now she's having a good look at it. They're calling it left. And that is very much now advantage Hannah Jang.
She doesn't have a great angle.
It's a left pin.
I don't think hitting the green is a problem. I think giving yourself a realistic birdie opportunity will be tough for Danielle there.
And it just depends whether it comes out hot out of that rough, how much control she can get on it. The pin's only 12 on, and it's on the left-hand side, and it's just 4 paces in from the left. So there are those LPGA victories that Hannah has had. The most recent of those, the Women's Australian Open in 2017. She put in an incredible performance to win the HSBC Women's Champions and Fubon, and of course before that the Coates Golf Championship. She's been a star player for a number of years now, but of course the LPGA hasn't seen her for a couple of years.
No, she decided that she was going to come back to Korea to be closer to her mother and her family, and she felt like that's where her heart was and that's where she needed to come and play.
Danielle Kang became a major champion in 2017, so she knows that her game can withstand the hottest of heat. And then back-to-back victories in Shanghai 12 months ago and 7 days ago. And probably she's played in a 2-week stretch. It's hard to imagine that she's played 2 back-to-back weeks of better golf than the 2 she's produced at the end of October.
No, just magnificent. I mean, the ball striking with her irons has been spot on. And then on the rare occasion that she's needed to, because she's missed the green, she's managed to save it too. Just, that's work ethic. That's somebody who's worked really hard at that area of the game, and it all paying off.
And I can't help casting my mind back, Karen, to Danielle's second shot to 8 today, because she faces a predicament here. She faces a difficult shot coming into 18. At 8, she was in the right trap. It's the hardest hole on the golf course. It's the most unlikely birdie that you are going to see, and she made it. It's tight. There's not much margin for error.
Yes, you did.
I think it's like
There was so much grass between the ball and the club face. There was no way that she could get any stop on that.
And she's going to have to stop the next one too, because it'll be coming down that step that she had to negotiate before. So very much advantage Hannah Jang now. She played this shot just a little while ago. It was 30 feet right of the pin. Wow.
That looked quite sloppy.
She knew it straight away too. She knew it didn't feel right.
So now it comes down to a short game show.
Whose shot would you rather have?
It depends on the lie that Hannah has. I think I like Danielle's skills in the short game department, but she's got that big tier to negotiate and judging the speed.
While they walk up, let's have a look at the respective drives. Couldn't really walk down and place it much better. The white dot in the fairway is 150 yards to the front of the green, so she's passed that by about 4. Danielle, in contrast, anxious from the word go.
사람들이 열로 치고 넘어오더라고. 그래.
You can see how much grass was behind that ball for this second shot. And she landed it where she needed to, right at the very front of the green. But it just took a power bounce.
That's so good.
She thought it was good. Hannah had the door open and didn't take advantage of it.
No, she knew that glove face was open the moment she made impact. And if that's a good lie, it should be a fairly straightforward chip.
Not what you want, really.
No, this looks to me like you can just drop the club on the back of the ball, pop it up and let it release to the hole. Maybe not with the most lofted club in the bag. You might want to go sort of a gap wedge or something instead.
So the problem with Danielle Kang is not the lie. She's at the mown area at the back of the green, up near the corporate area, but the problem is that step, which is almost 15 feet before the hole. Almost a matter then of breaking the shot up into two different components. Get it to the ledge and let gravity take over.
Still. No cameras, please.
Exceptional again. That shot personifies what Danielle Kang has been able to do with her short game last week in Shanghai and this week in Busan. She's a wizard.
She is. And she knows it too. There's this confidence to her that it didn't faze her that her shot ended up back there.
You would think in all likelihood they're a par for Danielle. How will this one come out? That's the $300,000 question. Remember the putt at 14? It was a little bit shorter than that, but it still had that importance to it. Now they've just become critical, obviously, because of the situation. It's do or die, but at least she'll stand up over that and know that she's got the ability to hold difficult putts. She's done it this afternoon. Danielle Kang, in the meantime, turning her back and just trying to be in that bubble.
I think that Hannah was actually trying to hit that firmer and get it up the slope and get it come back towards the hole. I think that she didn't fancy just trying to pop it up and land it on the front edge of the green and let it release to the hole. I think she knew it was going to come out and she wanted to hit it harder because of the lie. You saw how much that club stopped as it made impact with the ball too. Very sticky grass.
Very sticky mouth at the moment too. Little gulp of water. In the back of her mind, she is expecting Danielle Kang to hold her putt.
Absolutely.
That's got to be her attitude. For par at the first playoff hole to force Danielle Kang to hold that 4-footer.
In the hole!
Just keeps getting better. Nerves of steel. And Danielle's reaction, well, she probably thought, why wouldn't she?
She's like, all right, I see it.
Hannah's part of the job is done for the time being. Danielle Kang has held so many of these putts over the last week and a bit. She held an incredible number in Shanghai to take her to the trophy. This putt to extend the playoff. To win the championship in Shanghai last week. Let's just keep this thing going.
Wow.
How good is this? Back they go. Let's do it again at 18.
And Ali G giving the LPGA rules officials, giving the players a ride on back to the tee.
Nice putt.
You good? Yeah, you good? You got it? Yeah, I got it.
There's a lot of pictures.
They make the journey back. Nobody's moving from the side of 18. How could you?
I can't emphasize enough how good the quality of golf has been today from these two. Just outrageously good. Yeah. This is competition at its very finest.
And because of the nature of a playoff, it has that match play feel. We often feel the involvement of the crowd, one pulling one way, one pulling the other way, be it a team or an individual. And it's got that atmosphere at the moment about it. This place is buzzing. And it's buzzing because of some unlikely saves from both players at various times. There have been moments of brilliance, but we often say, Karen, that it's the moments where you save par that don't often go on the highlights reel, but they belong there because that's what gets you into this place in the first place. They'll play 18, the third time in the last hour. Both of the previous times, Hunter's been able to hit the centre of the fairway, just left of the white dot, and get it to a mark round about 145 yards from the front of the green. That's even longer. Bit of adrenaline flowing through the body right now.
Awful left still, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Distance-wise, Anna's got it covered, but we knew that was going to be the case anyway. Danielle's average drive over the first 3 rounds of the tournament has been just shy of 257. Hunter's has been about 26 yards longer than that. So they've almost played to type there with what they've done. How good was her touch?
Just a masterclass. Masterclass of picking the spot that you want to land the ball on and leaving it in a lovely spot to putt from. Didn't leave yourself a tough putt.
And Hunter perhaps looking at the backboard here, trying to get it even a bit further up than this.
Yep. And make no mistake about it, this is a really hard putt. It's downhill, a little bit of movement, tough to read. But this is perfection.
Jang was expecting that Danielle would have holed her putt, so that was the mindset that she took in, and then it turned the other way around. And the battle is prolonged. Been a great sense of sportsmanship between the two. A warm embrace when they were out on the practice putting green. They know how well the other one's played. They know how well they're going to have to play to get it done. Last playoff on the LPGA was the Mediheel Championship. Jang Kim won that. And this really is enthralling stuff. It's great to have you with us, whichever corner of the globe you're watching. 170 countries and territories taking the LPGA coverage throughout 2019. I dare say it doesn't matter where you'd be watching this around the world, Karen Stupples should be on the edge of your seat.
Oh, it's just tremendous. And the quality of golf that these two players are playing is just amazing.
드라이버 6번, 드라이버 6번.
It's a bit of a toss-up between the two of these, really. Which one? I like Danielle's angle, but I like the shorter shot in from Hannah Jang.
Danielle being back there is on something of an upslope before you get to the trap on the right-hand side.
What that will do, Peter, is it'll put a bit of loft on the club, and there is a tendency to want to pull it a bit from an upslope too, so she has to be careful of those two things.
No, you don't, not at all.
Off the left.
Yeah, correct.
So good.
172 yards of almost perfection.
Swing on.
Thanks.
She's just wearing out the centre of her golf club right now.
A hard act to follow for Hannah Jang. And follow it she does, and they both have birdie putts. If it's at all possible, the quality of this has actually gone up. And that seems hardly possible from what we've seen this afternoon. Are we at a 50-50 bet with those putts? Does one or the other have the advantage? Danielle's putt is a little shorter, but it's a different direction.
It is, and we've seen Hannah Jang make that almost exactly that same putt just, what, 5 minutes ago. And Hannah was able to read it, make it, so Danielle knows it can be done. Hannah's is slightly longer, and I don't know, Hannah has been making a lot of putts already on this back nine, and
it goes without saying that both are desperate to hold up the trophy. But what also will go without saying is that whoever doesn't hold up the trophy will be able to walk off and say, I did absolutely everything I could in my endeavours to do it. Moment to break the tension momentarily. She got a look at this line with her putt in regulation. It was coming across the green. It was longer than the one she faces now. She left it short, didn't quite get the pace right that she wanted.
And on that same sort of vein of thought, Danielle's had a couple of putts or chips that have had to roll down that slope on a similar line to what she has now. It's just how much the players will remember about those shots and how the ball rolled.
quite the line for that speed of putt. Anna had a putt for the victory about half an hour ago. Danielle Kang hasn't had that because she played a group in front. So now for the first time today, she knows that she has the surety of this putt to win. The last back-to-back winner on the LPGA Tour was Shen Fang. Seven days on from the day she turned 27. The chance of another birthday present. It seemed in. It seemed in all the way.
Wow.
So now they'll depart 18. In a bid to resolve the deadlock, and that is a rueful smile from Danielle Kang. I was just waiting for that ball to disappear then. It seemed like the line was right, the speed was right, everything seemed right.
Where's number 10?
Where's number 10? That's where they're going now. Were you the same, Karen? Did you think it was it?
Absolutely, I did. And I think if that had half an inch less speed, it might have been in.
She was in the first part of the celebration move.
아마 갤러리 분들 되게 어이없겠다. 뭐지? 왜 저기로 가지? 자리 잘 잡았는데.
She's got a stress fracture in her foot, don't forget, so she's climbing that hill towards 10.
I think adrenaline, you don't feel anything right now.
She won't be feeling any pain whatsoever. And from a purely selfish point of view, neither are we, because we're loving every minute of this.
This is fantastic golf.
Playoff hole number 3. Inevitably, there's going to be some movement because there's a lot of movement from the people who are over at 18 wanting to get to 10 to see this decided, if it is in fact decided here. White dot that she scuttled on past is 270 off the tee.
No cameras, please.
카메라 내려주세요.
Yeah.
되게.
Very nice.
Just what you'd expect really from both players in
Yep.
terms of distance, the distance between them, that's about right. They're playing to type again.
There is a lot to be said for playing into the green first.
Golf Channel's exclusive coverage of the LPGA Tour is presented by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable.
More than 31,000 people in here on Sunday. Many of them have stayed around and many of them have followed this pair out to the 10th fairway.
이게 어디로 날라올까?
It would have been around about 3 hours ago that Danielle Kang stood in this spot. She stood there having made 5 birdies on the front 9. And when she walked up and hit this shot, she nearly hit it perfectly. She nearly hit it in the hole. She'll be looking to draw upon those memories right now.
Pretty good.
No, it's a good shot.
Solid.
Yeah.
The door is open though. There's 15 feet of space for Hannah to get closer.
And with a much shorter shot too.
Yeah.
The bunker is a lot less intimidating from closer to the green.
Danielle had 122. 26 yards closer. You'd be betting on her to make that. Somewhat similar to the shot she hit at Sky 72 3 weeks ago. That one was stone dead. This one is not far off it.
소를 써드리. 그만 먹어. 조심하세요. 온다고.
In the world of professional golf, you turn up and you do your job each week. And one week can tend to roll into the other one. You can consign it to history pretty quickly and not think too much about what's gone on in the past. I think these two will remember this day for a while because of the quality that we've seen, because of the intensity of the battle, because of the focus of these people. It's been so memorable this afternoon.
I think Danielle shot 64, low round of the tournament. Hannah shot 65. And both have come up with huge shots when they've needed to.
And even though they weren't playing in the same group, it seemed as though they've been spurring each other on, perhaps a glance at a leaderboard here or there. And when one's lifted the level, the other one's gone with her.
Yep. So what we saw on 18 in the first playoff hole, with Hannah having to hole a long putt for her par to basically to hang in there. I think we're seeing the same from Danielle here.
Well, the one thing she simply has to do is get it to the hole. She's got to give it a chance of going in, because again that mindset is that her opponent is going to hole hers. So Danielle Kang thinking right now, I have to hole mine. Around 40 minutes ago, she had a putt for the win in regulation play, but that putt was a good 30 to 35 feet. That's the distance that stands between Hannah Jang and becoming the first champion at the BMW Ladies Championship. What an extraordinary battle that was. The sense of relief is written all over her face. A little dance from Hannah Jang.
Nice.
Her fifth LPGA victory.
우리가 제일 재밌지.
That was a battle for the ages, Karen Stupples. What a Sunday afternoon we've witnessed.
Well, just amazing.
Yeah, okay.
What Hannah was able to achieve. Oh, and there's the mum.
Well, she can walk off with her head held high, and several of her fellow players are out there to watch it. As we said, only one can walk off with the trophy.
He says, wait, please.
And Danielle Kang can go to the clubhouse knowing that she's done absolutely everything in her power to get that trophy. She should be very proud.
He's coming.
She'll be disappointed now.
It's okay. Thanks, man.
8 under, they say. What do you have to do to win?
I know.
Oh, man.
It just was some. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how great that golf was. I mean, Hannah just came up big time after time with those putts.
That eagle at 11 is where it all started on the back nine. And this was the shot at the third playoff hole that set it all up.
96 yards. Spectacular.
Both players embracing their caddies in unison. Joy and relief all mixed in at the same time. The Korean fans have something to cheer about, but had Danielle Kang won, they still would have had something to cheer about. In fact, we've all had something to cheer about because of what we've been able to witness today.
It was a dramatic playoff to determine the champion. Winning on the third hole, the BMW Ladies Champion is Hannah Jang. And can I please ask Mr. Han, the president of BMW Group Korea, to present the beautiful trophy to our champion in 2019. Well, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Han. Congratulations, Hannah.
So
winning in very dramatic circumstances. Danielle Kang made you work very hard for the win.
Yeah, it was like a very long day myself because I played almost 21 hole, right? and there's a little problem in my leg, but I'm just thinking about to enjoy the golf and enjoy it with my friends. So I'm just not too much thinking, and then that's why I'm winning.
Oh, well, you won in style, and she's a good friend of yours, Danielle.
Exactly. It's like very long time ago. First time I see it, it's like 15 years ago. I played at USGA and then watching the Danielle, and then friends like 15 years. Very long time. Yes.
How good was your putting today? You hold some incredible putts out there, and I noticed you kiss your golf ball before you put the ball down.
It's like it's my routine because I just like try like please go inside the hole, and then myself. So it's good, yeah.
It's more than good. I think we'll all be trying that all around the world. But this is your 16th win in your career, and how wonderful to win an LPGA event in your homeland, Korea.
It's like. It's very, I miss you guys, and then I hope to play the LPGA, but I'm just first thinking of my mom and my dad, and then it's very important, I'm thinking of the family, so talk to you later.
Well, we are absolutely thrilled you have won. Many congratulations. You are the 2019 BMW Ladies Champion, Hannah Jang.
An exceptional performance, no question about that. An exceptional day, and we do feel for Danielle Kang at the moment. Karen, as we said, she'll be feeling very disappointed. She said to the players who came out to console her, it's okay, but she'll be thinking, gee, I can't play much better than that, and I still can't get my hands on the trophy.
No, she's had 2 exceptional weeks of golf though, back to back, and really just one of those things. And you think back to the break that Hannah got on the 17th hole, and you think to yourself, maybe some things were just meant to be. You know, she got that little break out from the tree, got herself in a good spot, was able to make birdie, but she came up big with those putts. You think of the putts she made for par on 16 as well, just time after time. 16 and 14, both exceptional par putts, and then the one in the playoff on 18 to keep things going.
Perhaps a sense of destiny about all of that. And it really was a brilliant day, and we can look back at some of the moments of the day now on this final day of the BMW Ladies Championship round 4. Let's go back and talk about some of those moments that Karen was talking about. And first of all, at the 18th hole, Jin Young Ko, not her week. She knocked it in for par at the last, but still the world number 1, delighting her fans back in her home nation. But it just didn't happen over the weekend. 71-71. Could have been so much better, but it just wasn't her weekend.
Well, and 2 more rounds under par. It just goes to show you how good the scoring was here this week.
Danielle Kang would have loved this just a few minutes ago. That was her shot at 10 in regulation play. After going out in 31, she knocked that in. She went 6 under for the day, and at that stage she seemed unstoppable.
And this was a magnificent bunker shot on the 11th. Really deep, heavy, thick sand. Penalty area, the other side of the hole, and she hits a magnificent shot.
And she went on to make birdie, and then came to the 13th, hit it in tight again. It took her to 8 under par for the day. And at this stage, it was very difficult to see anybody possibly being able to overcome her, given the form that she was in.
Just really quality ball striking.
But then, at the 11th hole, this was the moment that changed everything. She was 4 behind the lead at this stage, Hannah Jang. This was for eagle, and it was game on.
But it almost came undone on the 14th hole for Hannah Jang. Her putt came up woefully short. She needed this one to save par, and just drips it in the low side.
It's a game of inches, a game of millimetres at times. She got her measurements just right at the next hole, the 15th. Last of the long holes, up to birdie range. She'd hold the putt. It was still advantage Danielle at this stage, but she could almost feel Hannah Jang tippy-toeing up behind her on the leaderboard and reducing the gap. And what about the break she got at 17?
It was I mean, at an opportune moment. She hit the trunk of the tree and it ricocheted out to that point, enabling her to have a clear shot to that flag. It could have gone anywhere.
Instead, it was a birdie. A mighty roar rang out around the golf course. Danielle Kang, up in the group ahead of her, was well aware of what had taken place. And then we got to the playoff, and there were so many moments in the playoff. This Danielle's third shot from all the way at the back, having to show some incredible touch. That was on the first playoff hole, and she put it down to range where she was going to make the par. It was advantage Danielle. Hannah was called upon again. What do you think she did?
That is and should be a gold-plated putter, because that was, I mean, the way she has held those putts, just so good.
This time it let her down slightly. Never quite the right line for the birdie putt at the second playoff hole. And so Danielle Kang had this putt for the win. And for 99.9% of its journey, it looked in. We now know what that meant. Third playoff hole. 96 yards to go. Danielle was within 20 feet. Hannah got hers to within 3.
And this was not an easy putt. We've seen a number of players from this area do exactly what we're going to see Danielle do. It just takes way more break than you think. I think she hit the putt she wanted to.
So for the second time, Hannah Jang had a putt to win. The first one was about 30 to 35 feet. The next one was about 3. She wins an LPGA event on home soil for the first time. And after everything she's been through in the last couple of years, where she divorced herself from the LPGA and came home to be close to family, this will be a very sweet moment. And what it does is it gives her the opportunity, if she wants to go back to the big tour, and she can do it right now if she wants to.
She did say to me that she had hopes of coming back to the LPGA.
How brilliant was that? I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure you have, because surely if you didn't enjoy that, I don't think you'll ever enjoy top-class golf. That was memorable. And here's the final leaderboard. Hannah Jang in the playoff over Danielle Kang at 19 under par. Amy Yang, another brilliant week from the Korean. And she finishes at 16 under. Inji Chun and So-Mi Lee in a tie for 4th at 12 under. Karen, as always, my friend, it's been a pleasure to sit beside you.
Loved every minute of it, Peter. Thank you so much.
Karen Stupples, the British Open champion, joining us. Kate Burton has been in the box as well. Thanks to our team from JTBC, the host broadcaster. I hope you've enjoyed it. For now, Peter Donegan saying farewell from the LPGA International in Busan, South Korea. Hannah Jang is the inaugural champion at the BMW Ladies Championship.